Okay, we're inside the car. Gonna put this in. I said earlier that I would point this out. This is all the cabling with tape on it. That took me about maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but everything's nice and neatly wrapped. Everything is also, these are all car. So I had the unit, I had the Mr. CarPlay labels. I don't have any labels on these because these are considered the car. This is considered the head unit. So what we're gonna do, in no particular order, because I don't think it matters, most of these are just original. So what I'm gonna do is start plugging these in. So I'm gonna scoot all these to one side, and I'm gonna move my head unit over here so that you can see. I'm assuming camera person can give me a nod if you can see everything back here fairly clearly. Okay, so this is 10 for the car, and then but we do have to make sure we have this long one extended, because that goes to the Mr. 12 volt box. And so that's 10, that's 1. So this one actually goes on the bottom. So let's start bottom up. Like I said, no particular order. This one goes all the way. Let's make sure we're all in order here. All the way in the front. So there's the one. It's upside down. I want to make sure I'm not crossing paths here because there's a lot of wires going on in this spot. So there's one. Okay. This is all, whoop, goes here. This is the Fakra, and then, hold on, this is leaning in a way that's making the cables a bit short. This is the Fakra cable, so this one is going to go in 4. If I can figure out which way it goes. I think it goes I think it goes that way. Yep, nice click. Okay, this is 3 car. Make sure again we're not twisting cables up. This all goes through the hole, so that's good. So I'm trying to go bottom up. What does that say? 3. So let's find 3. Nope, that's 2. Okay, hold on, just going slow. There's 7, 6, 2. Okay, so I guess that's with that harness. 2 goes in here. That is totally upside down. Let's get the 2 off. And then hopefully my hands aren't blocking stuff. Really need to make sure that the stuff that has to go out through the hole doesn't end up like this. So, especially with how tight everything is. So for now, I'm gonna get this up and out of the way and into the steering wheel, because this one's quite firm. Okay, so this is 10 car. This is 2, which is supposed to go under here, but I want it to be underneath. I am not sure how that's gonna work. How is that 2 gonna fit? Just making sure here. Same things you guys are gonna have to struggle with. Okay, so let's keep all those together. This is 2, this is 5. That is not 5. This is 5 up here. So this one is also labeled. That's 9, not 5. So I am not sure why that says 5. Wow, okay, well, my apologies. I do know that this green one goes into, where's the other one? Here somewhere. Yeah, this is the speaker, so this goes in here. So let's just knock that one out, and then we'll do process of elimination. So there's 3 and 3C, and I did it upside down just like they did in the video. So there's your speakers. So that's good. There's the other one. That's why it was tucked over here. So here's 9 car. It's coming from the car. And I don't know why that says 5. I'll just get rid of that. It's 9 is all green. So there's 10. So I got that one. This is the one with the 2. Wow, this is like dizzying. Okay, so there's the clip. Goes on the outside. So there's that. So that's this one cable coming from the left. Those are the 2 ICMs that go into the Mr. 12 volt female and the Mr. 12 volt orange cable female. I am really confused as to how this, yeah, that's 10. So, okay. How this, which is supposed to be 2, right? And it was 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So that's 2 head unit. I know where that one goes. I know where that one goes. So all 3 of these go up top. So that's fine. I'll leave those there for now. That's all of this. And we're getting process of elimination here. This goes to the Mr. 12 volt, so that can go where you can't see with the steering wheel for now. With this, so we can get that out of the way. And I am flying blind here for a second. That's good, that's good. But I am missing 2. And it says that this is 2. So I'm gonna guess this is 2. And I'm gonna go over and around through here and get that, just to get that in there. Yep, that's facing the right way. The little clip you can see is on the outside. And then we have our nav hookup, which goes one way or the other. Oh, tape's in the way. All right, note to self next time I'm labeling. Make it a little cleaner. Nav. See if you guys can see it. There's 6. That's the nav. There we go. Straight is better. 7. That's 7 right there. I'll put it over that little joiner. And that goes. Now we're running out of room here. There's that. And then last, but certainly not least, is 5. Now, if you had the tape all on there properly, then, all right, let's double check all these. Remember, I don't have a backup camera, so that isn't going in there. We got all that plugged in. Okay. Oof. We got the Fakra down here for the radio antenna. We got this is the Mr. 12 volt that goes to the speaker connector from the car, 3C. And then of course, you know, we have the jumper here for the fiber optics from the ICM over to 10C. So this is the one from the car that used to plug into here. We're jumpering that over. This Mr. 12 volt side is female, the one from the car is male. Same thing here, so it's pretty easy to sort out. So, all right. So now I'm gonna need to finagle this out of the way a little bit, if I can, and try to show you guys where this stuff runs. So down here we have all the cables for, not the blue one down there, that's my charger. Down here we have all the cables that go to the Mr. 12 volt unit. So I'm gonna stop here and then stitch right in and get everything in place so I can try really hard to show you what we did for getting these cables run out through under the footwell. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you down in there, which I can't point because I'm holding a flashlight in the thing. But where that yellow is down there in that curve, down in there is the top of the carpet. So I'm gonna remove this light and it will get a little shady, unfortunately. But what you might be able to see, if I can get this right, sorry if it's jiggly for a sec, is the spot where I came in and moved the carpet. So you can see light coming through in there. So you got to fit down in there, which I'm no way I'm going to be able to hold a camera to do, but I'm going to feed all of that in through this hole right there, where I pulled the carpet out from under the leather that goes along the side of the center console all the way to the front. This center console here and here have a couple of snaps in there. Hopefully they'll snap back, otherwise it'll look goofy in here. But I'm going to try to fit the cords through there and then sort out where I put things like the USB that might go in the glove box, something along those lines. I'll get it sorted. So there you go. I'm going to go run those through and I'll be back. All right, a little bit of after. I am not going to show the reassembly. You can watch the removal for the appropriate screws and things. I will point out, remember, if you did this to clean it out, I already cleaned mine. You kind of, on an angle, go in. Do not know if I can get a light going here, but I can now take these by hand because I'm not finagling a bunch of stuff. So there's all the cables that we labeled that go to Mr. 12 volt that went down there. There's a whole bunch I do not use, but they did fit down in there. Let's see if I can set this and zoom in where they all went. There's that curve I talked about, and they go feed in through there, and they're coming out. We need that light back. They're coming out through there. Also, I am not going to show because there'll be a lot of cussing involved, me trying to get that all behind the carpet. There's going to be a lot of scratched and rubbed fingers and stuff, so not going to bother with that. But there's everything connected in. I had already labeled them, if you saw from a previous video. Mr. 12 volt Fokker on the right. There's that hard to bend orange cable that said Mr. 12 volt, and then the white one that said Mr. 12 volt that pretty much compiles everything together. There are also these the old school yellow video cables. I can't remember what their acronym for them is, and some indicator lights. That's all for cameras. It says side, front, and rear. I'm not going to mess with any of that. I am going to zip tie them together so that they're nice and snug, and tuck those back behind the carpet as well up here. And I think we're done. What I will do is, after I post this whole long mess as a string of posts on the forums, and that'll be after I get all this stuff uploaded to YouTube, then I will, there's the Apple CarPlay, by the way. I'm not giving a tour of that. They give one online in a few places. It's pretty much the same, but everything is in, not installed, plugged up, and working, and the audio, without even touching the equalizer, is incredible. So, with that, I'm going to call it a do, and thank you so much for being patient with me and all my mistakes, and I will try really hard to make comments that corrected a few of the things that I did wrong or misspoke on. Thanks a lot, everybody.